Miss LaShasta Bell, you gave 5 words that described you. You said you're compassionate, you're resourceful, you're aware, humorous, fashionable. And what is that? Initiator. Tell me about that. Why did you choose those words?
Those are the essence of me. I am often known to be the connector of people, the provider of healing opportunities, a safe space, and that's always been. Even when I didn't want to be, I can remember being in high school and people coming to me about things that I'm like, why are you asking me? Like, Lord, why? And then I went journey to college, and it was still for years. A lot of those descriptors felt like monkeys on my back until I got in a place and really got with God and had a conversation to realize like these were my gifts. Like they were the essence of me. So people see me as a an international speaker and a business owner, but it took those 5 words to build all that I am and all that I can be. And it took an understanding of getting in God's space and his space to be like, what is this really? And so that's where they come from. It's if I see something, I'm gonna say something. I literally was at the rodeo yesterday here in Austin, and the line was long, and it took 40 minutes before you got to a sign where it says like buy your tickets online to skip this line. And so as we're walking out, it took everything in me not to announce to everybody that was in that 40-minute line now to say, hey, buy your tickets online. So that's the initiator in me, like, and being compassionate. If I've gone through it, you don't have to go through it.
You don't have to go through it.
Yeah, exactly.
So share a bit, tell somebody, help someone so they don't have to go through the same thing. All right, then. I like that. And I can definitely say you are fashionable. We didn't even talk, and she came with her war gear on this morning. I tell you, talking about things lining up and being in sync. Well,
absolutely.
Then I tell you, Rickey.
Yes.
Tell the people, because I already know I got the same bloodline. Tell the people a little bit about you.
Oh, man.
Let me put your words out there. Happy, realistic, fun, loving, thinker.
I want to add 2 things to that.
Okay, come on.
Since our last show.
Come on now.
2 things I've been focused on is being everything and nothing.
Oh, now that's
everything
deep.
And nothing.
Wait. I'm not gonna let you pass by that. Everything and nothing.
I'm gonna break that down for you in verse 3 of chapter 2 of the book of Philippians.
Go for it.
Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than yourself.
There you go. That's one way to put it.
Okay, well, let me hear your way of putting it. You went with it.
Yeah. In all transparency, just being completely honest, it's like I've learned that the more I admit to not knowing something, it gives me the opportunity to learn everything.
Wow. Yeah. Instead of walking around here like you got it all together, you know all the answers.
That's just, I took a vow to stop lying to myself. And so I'm okay with saying, I don't know. And then that allows me to know everything. Yeah. Wow. And I can absorb so much more when I just say, I don't know. So I can listen intensely instead of automatically cutting you off and pretending like I know, or already automatically assuming
that I know the answer.
Yeah, it's just like
and it's required of me to know the answer.
You don't have to know.
You don't have to know.
That's too stressful.
Didn't I tell you, LaShasta, there's gonna be some good conversation?
Look at yourself as all of that also.
Oh God, no, man. Yeah, so when some people call me sexy, I'd be like,
I'll take the compliment.
Yeah. I'm gonna take. I've learned to take it. That's the whole giving. Give and take, yin and yang.
Just don't let it.
Oh no,
it's the outer of you. It has nothing to do with who's on the inside of you.
Yeah.
And I think when people line themselves up and start to understand and appreciate who's on the inside of them, they really become very beautiful people. On the outside, because the outside is just it's a
shell, man. It's just us taking care of this avatar. You know what I'm saying? If you take care of your avatar, what I would call it, then it shows. And it comes out. So somebody else may view you and like, oh, you sexy, you attractive. I'm like, thank you. Only because on the inside, I actually really feel good. It's just showing. That's all. So thank you.
All righty then. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and get.
Before you get started,
you want to say something, baby?
talk to Miss LaShasta.
Oh, you want to know about this name, huh? He's not gonna let us get away with that.
LaShasta, yeah, that's a unique name. I've never heard it before. Okay. You are the first.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, you are. That too. But anyway, tell us about that name and how did it come about?
So, according to my mom, up until she was in the hospital, going into labor, actually in labor, delivering me, I was a boy to be named Antonio after my dad, Anthony. Okay. And this was back, in 80. I don't mind letting you know my age. I'm very proud of it. And there was not a lot of technology or resources for women in her socioeconomic group. So I was a boy until I wasn't. And so she's sitting there thinking of names. And at that time, I think she had been exposed to, like, there was a tiger in the zoo named Shasta, but she didn't just want to go with Shasta. So she was like, Cuss Shasta, Nuh Shasta, LaShasta. And that was it. And so I've been that tiger ever since.
Okay, then. I like the fact that you took that tiger. Because a lot of times what ends up happening is someone can see something bad in it, but I see your mom saw the fight in you. You're going to fight through. You're going to press through. I like that. The tiger in you.
Thank you. And now I am a Panther. I graduated from Prairie View A&M University that produces productive people.
Oh, come on now. Come on.
This means war.
You knew that was going to work. You knew that was going to work.
Crystal in the house.
I knew, unfortunately, I knew that prior to booking, and I still
booking.
Big rivalry over here.
Well, I appreciate that, Crystal, that even with your knowing, but you knew greatness was coming in the building.
Oh, Lord, I love it. I love it. Okay, did she answer your question, Brother Carter?
She did. She broke that down.
She broke it all the way down for you, didn't she? Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we're just getting ready to jump on in here and we're going to go. And anyone, as I throw different questions around just to kind of get this conversation going, LaShasta, this is your first time in. So just jump in. If it's a question that you want to answer, just go ahead and answer. And don't feel like because you're not in studio, you have to wait on an opportunity to speak.
You're still here.
You are here.
I am here. Absolutely.
You are here. Has making yourself a priority always been a struggle for you?
Ooh.
LaShasta, you want to
I think it's a struggle for everybody, especially Black women in particular, because we are raised to put everyone first. And then when we look at our spirit, I'm going to say our religion. I'm not even going to say our spirituality. I'm going to say religion.
Yes.
We're told that everyone needs to be prioritized above ourselves, and that if we're prioritizing ourselves,
the scripture I read this morning.
Yeah, we're being arrogant, we're being self-absorbed, and so you have to battle all of that cultural information. Epigenetics is real, so what's passed on genetically, literally, it's a renewing. When the Bible say renew your mind daily, I literally have to renew myself daily to remember that I have to take care of me first before I can take care of anybody else.
Whew. Let me tell you,
you said y'all ready. Y'all ready?
Yes. Look, I had to take a deep breath on that because that is so true and it's so on point with actually the scripture that Brother Carter read this morning, the thought of the day. And then when I read the thought of the day, he was like, okay, well, that's kind of contrary to what the scripture just said. So he asked me to break it down. So I had to break that thing down because it's we're talking about two different things there. And that lines back up with what you said. We get caught up in scripture, what we've been told, religion, and we take it and we make it literal. It's the way we're supposed to function, and that's why so many of us, especially women, that are toe up from the flow up because we're not taking care of ourselves. So I had to learn that. Mr. Rickey, you want to jump on in that? Get you some of this. Come on.
I'm on top of the dive board.
Yeah, you ready to go? Come on.
100 feet deep. My whole thing is just reprogramming. Just in general. We've been programmed to deny ourselves.
Yes.
You know, since birth.
Yes.
You know, if you think about it, like we had no choice on how we were going to be born, you know, where we're going to live at. So you were programmed to be somebody else's slave no matter what, right? And then depending on how we were raised, where we were raised at, you just fall right into that system no matter what. So we're like, I was doing some studying from Eastern philosophy. It's like their system is almost like exact opposite of ours, which is they were taught to learn themselves first and then learn a system to implement how to become a better version of themselves. Us, we're the exact opposite. We're just like, learn the system. And then now 40 and 50 years into, you're like, I don't know myself.
I don't know myself.
You know what I'm saying? So like the whole self-denial has been programmed since you were born. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, all of a sudden you feel bad for like, I need to learn myself. I need to take advantage of myself. Like, well, you spent 30 to 40 years.
That's not going to be an easy.
It's not an easy transition. Right. So I tell people, like, anytime you get into this coaching program where you're like, I need to reprogram my life, it's going to take time. You got to be okay with understanding, look, you've been 20, 30 plus years of programming. I need to deny. And all of a sudden it's like, put yourself first. And you're like, I don't know how to do it.
Right.
And that's, you know.
And that's why it's so foreign to people, or people want to say that's selfish, because now you're understanding years later, I'm really unhealthy. I can't keep doing this for everybody else. I do something for me. That's why your vessel is empty.
And I just got to say this too, because I love the way she said, Black women, right?
Yes.
I'm just being completely transparent and honest.
Completely.
You know what I mean? Like this morning, I had a full-on conversation with my baby mama, right?
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
You know, and I love the fact that now, you know,
y'all can have conversations. Yeah, isn't that good?
Man, you know, from Port Arthur. So the first 10 years was just like, all that good stuff, right? But now it's like we have full-on conversations about what's happening with the kids and so on and so forth. And she's learned to confide in my advice. I don't like to use the word advice because I like to help people figure themselves out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't take my advice. Just look at my point of view and then pick and choose how to apply this thing. Right. So this morning I had to tell her, I was like, yo, like you have been denying yourself for so long. You letting these kids drain the hell in you, out of you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, think about what you're doing.
If they're draining the hell out of them.
Well, you know, you gotta look at how you look at that concept. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, if they're draining the hell out of her, it's been lying dormant for so long, right? All the negative energy, all the self-neglecting, everything we've been talking about, right? So I'm like, you got to take care of yourself and be okay with cutting these kids off and saying, no, you grown. If you could act grown, you could do grown things and do it outside of my house.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? But again, with Black women, you know, it's this thing of I had to raise you, I had to be the mother, I had to be the dad or whatever. Even when we separated, you know, the whole, you know, systematic training of my mom was raising me and my grandmother was raising me. So everybody feels like I have to be the male and the female, almost Black women. So I've had to sit and tell her, I said, look, be okay with saying no. You don't have to take on that role.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're grown.
Grown ass kids. You know what I'm saying?
This radio station is not responsible for what's coming out of the mouth of Rick over here. This is Raise the Praise 100, Raise the Praise 100 radio station. Full gospel radio station.
I need a censor button.
Some of us are cussing Christians. You know, we trying to be converted.
We all working on it.
We're working on it.
All working on it.
But I appreciate how he said that. And LaShasta, I know you want to jump in on that because do you have any kids, LaShasta?
I do. I have a 17-year-old son. I have 2 bonus daughters that are 24 and 26.
Yes.
2 grandbabies and a baby on the way.
Same age. Huh?
So that's exactly. So you can appreciate what he's saying about his baby mother. And
yes.
Oh my God, you look so young. I thought you were like, I don't know, 20.
Oh no, ma'am. I'll be 42 in May.
Okay, then. Okay, LaShasta. You know, we never take time to. I mean, we feel like we have to keep saving our children. We've already poured into them. We've already raised them, and now we're trying to actually what we're doing is we're second guessing what we said we already done. So we need to trust what we put into them and fall back and allow, they're going to bump their heads, but allow them to bump their heads. It's good that you had that conversation.
Yes. I mean, absolutely. I think first we have to get away from thinking we can save anyone beyond ourselves.
Thank you.
That's
talk,
right there.
Girl, talk.
That's it.
I mean, for my son, and of course, when you co-parent, it's different than when the child is in the home full time. But for my son, my theory was always, I don't want to be everything for him. So that goes back to that word resource. I wanted to be a resourceful parent. So we were intentional about creating his village where he has a therapist. He has a tutor. Could I tutor my son? Absolutely. I'm a certified K through 12 special ed 4 through 8 teacher. So I had him covered to middle school. But in third grade, I'm like, let me find you a Black male tutor so you understand that you can get support from someone that looks just like you.
Wow.
You know, even with a therapist, you know, once he hit 14, he was like, Ma, I need somebody that looked like me, because some of the things I'm about to talk about, I need them to be able to relate from a personal perspective. So we've always been intentional about putting people in his world, because I can't save you. I'm busy saving me.
That's really good. And it's really good that you guys thought about that early on. And that's during my time and my husband's time coming up. He's 60 and I'm 58. We really didn't even have a mindset of understanding about counseling and having therapists around or life coaches. Actually, to be perfectly honest, it's not like they weren't out there, but it was taboo in the Black. If you were going,
therapist.
If you like you needed something, you needed to go get, you need to be in a
better go find Jesus.
Literally. So I think for that's why so many of us now are really just struggling, because you get to be 50 years old still trying to figure out who you are. That's a problem. That's a problem. It's a transition.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to throw something else out there. When can putting yourself first be a negative thing? When can putting yourself first be a negative thing? Or can it be? Ricky?
In my honest opinion, before a person could put completely put themselves first, you got to identify who you are first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to put you that's when it becomes conceited or cocky, because you're trying to be this person that you don't know you are. Like, I'm this, I'm like, well, that's why it looks bad.
Yeah.
Now you're cocky because you're being somebody who you're not.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I always say, make people adjust to you instead of you adjusting to people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a thing of like, I'm myself, so y'all know how to approach me.
Right.
If I was somebody else, you wouldn't know how to approach me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I can say, this is just who I am all the time.
All the time.
I can't fake being somebody else. It's actually stressful to me.
Yeah,
when I used to suffer from anxiety and junk, oh my God, man, I used to literally like shake and be nervous and couldn't get my thoughts together.
Exhausting.
It's exhausting, man. So now it's just so much easier to just be like, yo, this is really who I am. The person that you see online is really who I am. The person I am right now is that's really who I am. So it only becomes negative when you're trying to force it upon people. And now it's like, now you're doing too much, bro. You're trying to force it. I'm trying to make you be happy with this person that I don't even know who I am. You know what I'm saying? But if it's just me, I'm like, that's just me.
Well, I actually like that, what you're saying, because when you're walking in your authentic self, it's just easier. It's stress-free. You may not get me, but eventually you'll get me, because I'm still going to be that same person. That's
consistent.
Yes. What do you have to say on that, LaShasta?
I would say it depends on who you're asking. Because when I lived a life of prioritizing everyone over me and staying up all night with my mind running and being stressed with headaches, plagued with headaches for no reason, then everybody was happy. But once I started prioritizing me and putting myself first, some people saw that as a negative. When they would call and say, can you do me a favor? And I would hit them with, it depends on what it is. They felt like, they like, you for real? I said 110%, because I'm no longer a yes woman. So I can't commit to something not knowing what it is.
Right.
So I'm
think
sure
that is
for them, it
I
felt
think
negative.
and I didn't mean to cut you off on that. Go ahead. I apologize.
Oh no, I was just wrapping up to say for them it felt negative. So each time I put a boundary in place where I like now there's some people that can't access me because there's no space for my feelings in our relationship, so you can't have access. So I'm pretty sure that feels negative to them, but it's empowering for me because I'm choosing me and my feelings over the relationship that society says, oh, you got to be there for this person because they X, Y, and Z.
My God. Oh my God.
No, ma'am.
So you no longer allow people to infiltrate your being anymore.
Oh,
you just
exactly.
You cut them off now.
And it's a gentle cutoff. It's a cutoff with I'm here to communicate and have a healthy conversation if you're willing to engage. But if I tell you my feelings was hurt by X, Y, and Z, and you pop off on me, you don't have access to me anymore. There's no more access.
Come on, you sound like my wife right now.
I told you, you don't even know. This is why we came in with the war stuff on it. We had never
look.
It's giving me chills
with the red stripes down the side and everything. I'm ready. Ready.
I'm something later. Wow. I mean, it's so I've never heard anyone really break it down, and I've never been able to expound on it the way you did. But that's literally the person that I have become. I used to really, and people really saw me as being this mean or like I'm changing or like
that's how you seem now.
That's what I'm saying.
That ain't how you were seen before.
Well, no, I'm saying
you was a okay person before.
No, I'm saying people saw me as being that person as that transformation was happening, like because they were used to me saying yes.
Right.
They were used to me denying myself and sitting in a room and being unhappy. Yeah. Knowing that room is not the place I wanted to be, but they weren't concerned about that because they were concerned about them.
Yeah, and I just got to say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Because it just bugs me is that people can be so comfortable with your misery.
Yes.
And then when you start to change, they're like, why are you changing all of a sudden? I'm like, God dang, I'm not happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't got to a point where what you been saying?
I was saying, and here's the thing, they don't know that we're miserable. Because they're contending to their own happiness. They're prioritizing their happiness, not realizing that you're miserable, and we're not going to speak up on it. And I'm like, I'm done. I can't be anybody else's crisis counselor.
Right. That's why I always say like communication is elevation. I have to intentionally tell you what's going on with me so you can understand. And I'm not just beating around the bush. Because a lot of times we try to like entertain people's emotions. They're like, oh, hey, I'm just doing this. Like, now you got to be clear as day of like, hey, I am changing. Okay.
I'm not that girl
I'm
anymore.
not that person anymore. And if you want to continue allowing me to be miserable, I need to cut you out of my life.
Talk now.
That's it.
It's just that simple, you know. And then I always say that I was telling a good friend of mine is I've gotten to a point to where, you know, I told you guys I've dealt with depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts and all that good stuff, right? Used to. Now, if a person tries to combat with like my mindset, I was like, do you realize there was a point in time I didn't want to live anymore?
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. And you want to still try to like
take me there?
Like, come on, bro. Like I have no problem cutting you off. Absolutely.
And you know what? I think once you really learn to love you, because it's all about loving yourself. Once you learn to love you, and then you see that place that you were, that painful place, that ugly place that you were, you don't want to go back there. When you see a glimmer of that, or someone taking you there, you are definitely ready to cut them off.
It's blinders.
It's like, bye. I mean, bye. LaShasta,
right.
Would you agree with that?
I do, but there's a little phrasing that I would adjust. Okay. Because no one can take me anywhere I don't want to go.
Okay.
And so what
I'm still under construction. I'm working.
Right. We all are, but what happens with me is when I see them show up as who they've consistently been, I get to decide how I engage them or not. Wow. So I check myself and say, check your audience. Like, why you get caught up when this person has consistently showed you that they are self-absorbed and not interested in your feelings. Why are you surprised?
Wow.
Why are you surprised? Like I check in with me. Like,
I love her. Yo, hey, can I answer that right quick?
Yes,
It's so funny.
Yes.
I have to
going on this morning
because she said something that was so
yes.
so deep, and at the same time, it's
so
right
simple.
in your face.
Yes,
it's right in your face.
Right.
Like, and here's the question I have to ask people: like, if you know that person, okay, is bad for your health, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and then we get mad about it. Okay, you got to ask yourself, why are you really mad about it?
Why are you mad?
Okay, now when you start asking yourself, like, why am I really mad? It's because you associated yourself with that person's energy altogether.
When you should have already,
you know, you already knew.
You knew.
So we feel bad when we identify with a person that it makes us look at ourselves in a negative way. So I see you and I see that negative person, and it reminds me of how negative I am. So now I feel bad, but then I'm mad at the same time because I can't cut you off. So now I'm like,
okay. So the question is, why I can't cut you off?
That's because you don't love yourself enough.
Come on now.
Go ahead. Well, that's my point.
I'm sorry. I would say I wouldn't put it on self-love, but some of it is generational. And if we be honest, we say we having candid conversation.
We're having candid conversation. Give it to us.
With the
look,
just don't cut. Just raise the praise, whatever.
Look, I'm not gonna cuss. I'm not gonna cuss. But most of these people are family members.
Right. Yeah.
Most of these people is mama and them. It's our kids, it's our siblings, it's cousin them. So we're not giving them names because we're probably trying to protect their identity. But most of our stories are related to family.
The ones that been doing this since birth.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we don't cut them off because we've not been taught that it's okay that you can be family and I can love you and you not be bringing your energy all up and mixing with my good energy. So I think that's part of the reason why we have a harder time. But I can tell you, and my mom is probably listening, she'll co-sign. I love my mama to death. But it was when I was working on this, intentionally choosing me, it started about, I bet 7-8 years ago now. I had to tell her, we can only text because right now what you bring to my life is overwhelming me. And I'm not able to deal with it. So for like 2 months, we were text only. It was so hard. I was in therapy for months just to build up to have that conversation and to do it. And right now today, she'll say, Shasta, that's a place I never want to go. She understands my boundaries. She started putting in her own boundaries with family members and friends. And it's tough. Like you literally have to have some mental health support to do it. Right. I have a brother that I don't talk to. I haven't spoke to in years because we cannot have a meeting of the minds. Because I tell people it's not about the rupture, it's about the repair. We're gonna rupture relationships. We're human. But it's about how we repair it. So I'm not mad that you cussed me out. I'm not mad that you blasted me on Facebook and called me out my name. I'm concerned that we can't repair this in a healthy way to move on.
Wow. You know what I'm hearing, and I think that is so, and what you're saying is so important. When it becomes family, we can cut off, people that we meet along the way on this journey. But when it becomes family, we feel like because we've been trained, we're supposed to be there for family regardless. So if you're saying that we're supposed to be there for family regardless how they abuse us, regardless of how they treat for us, regardless of how much they take from us, regardless of how they are to us. And so we've been trained but their family.
And I think that's complete.
Right. That's bull.
Yeah.
That's bull, and baby, I know you want to say something on that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say something very, very brief, that too often it's because we haven't really recognized who we are as a human being, so that allow other people to affect us tremendously. And so once we grasp a hold of this idea of who we are as individuals, then they don't affect us as much as it.
But it still affects us because they're still there doing what they're doing. I think
but
that
I don't have to accept you because of what you're doing in my life,
I don't think I agree with you. Y'all know
I take it just like this.
Okay? I agree with you on that.
Sand in the hand.
You're very good at allowing people in on your terms, but you're also that person that's they're still there, in my opinion, with their toxicity.
No, they are there. They're not here.
Okay.
You see the
they
difference?
over there. They over there.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not here no more.
Right.
So that's not hurting me like
Okay.
But you know what? I got to add this to that because this whole family thing, and it's so deep.
We really need to talk about that.
Yeah, because our obligations become our deprivation at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? You feel so obligated because we're blood that we deprive ourselves from being the best version of ourselves. And it's so bad. It's so bad. And we all know this. And I just got to be transparent. Like, we have family members that we know for a fact have been sexually abusive to another family member, and everybody sit in the same room
and act like they don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I got to you know, and that's the part where, like, psychologically something is wrong with us. We've been programmed to be like, y'all don't see that nonsense right now.
Y'all see what's
I know
going
y'all
on.
see, but everybody wants to sit around and eat toxic food, have toxic conversations, and manifest this toxic life.
And never bring up the real elephant that's in the room.
See, that's why I don't go around my family.
Well, I think, go ahead. Let me take this here since I am family.
Right.
And so what he's saying, and I agree 100%, you've made a conscious decision, as I have. I choose to deal with, I love them all. But I choose to deal with certain family. Doesn't mean that the love is not there on my terms. If we're going to go into a room and we know something is wrong there and we're going to act like it's nothing going on, guess what? I'm not coming into the room. It's just that simple. And it's not about me not loving you. I'm not going to sit there and then suppress how this room is making me feel to make everybody else feel comfortable. Can't do it.
Right. And it's something I love to say earlier. It's just like, one thing, people don't know how to communicate properly. That's the one thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you just learn how to properly communicate, you know, we can get in the room, we have these awkward conversations, you know what I'm saying? But because we're not trained how to communicate properly, everybody acts out of their emotions. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's super defensive, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't say this about family. Only reason you're going there because that's all you know. That's the only thing you've been programmed to do. So now we need to sit down and actually talk with therapists and people who understand how to communicate properly so you can actually say and vent about what you feel, but then also have a plan of action. We've been taught to just pray it away, worship it away, shout it away, and it's going away. Like, no,
give it to God.
You can give anything to God, but guess what? If you don't solidify the issue, come right back.
It's coming right back.
My wife, I don't believe ever been that person. She always did ask the question. Spoke of it as if, you know, this did happen in my sight. I did see this.
I seen that.
I did see this.
And what I was told when I did that, I was told,
don't believe your eyes.
You basically leave your lying eyes, or you must be on drugs.
You gotta bring it up now.
Why you gotta bring it up? No, I saw that.
You always trying to mess the family.
You're trying to mess the family up. No, that happened. And I remember that. So
that's good.
And I want to make sure we give ourselves ourselves, and I say ourselves, our family and our generation, some compassion and some grace, because if we take a moment and think about what everyone just shared, that is what was embedded in slavery times. Violations happen of the mind, of the body, of the personal space, and it was not allowed to be spoken of, but you had to go alone to get along anyway.
Go along to get along.
It literally was put past genetically. So it's up to us, those of us who know better, to truly do better and start having some of those conversations. And that's when I do engage with certain family members that I may not would have otherwise engaged with. That's the language and the energy I'm bringing. So when it goes from this sister said this and this sister said that, and then they want to put the niece in the middle, I'm like, let me tell you this. My words do not change. And what I say to one, I can say to all. The only reason you did not hear it is because you were not on the phone. So let me give it to you the way I gave it to them.
Yes.
So on that note, I think it's time for us to take a pause.
I know. We're going to, but before we go, I'm going to put a question out there that I want you guys to think about it when we come back. It says, would you agree? And this is a question from Diana. Diana, I'm going to let you ask your own question that you want us to answer from you.
My question is, would you agree with the saying you can't love others unless you love yourself? Why or why not?
Okay. When we come back, we're gonna dig in that a little bit. We'll be right back. Oh, LaShasta, you have such great energy. I'm just so grateful to have you on the show this morning. But again,
thank you.
Thank you. Diana, you want to go ahead and repeat your question?
Yes, ma'am. My question was, would you agree with the saying you can't love others unless you love yourself? Why or why not?
Who wants to take it first? Ladies first?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't agree with that statement because all of us have chosen to love others in our most broken spaces and our most maladaptive ways. Some of us, a lot of us did the best we could with what we had. So we poured our love and energy into prioritizing others because we didn't love ourselves. And so it was too hard, too much energy, uncomfortable to focus in on knowing us and loving us. So we chose the external. So I absolutely believe we can love others. Now, if you would have said, can you love them well? Can you love them in a healthy way? Then I might have said, nah, player, you can't. Okay. But we absolutely can. Most of us have. I know I have. I was married young, younger than I needed to be. Didn't really know who I was in my essence. Didn't know who God called me to be in my essence. And I loved my husband the best way I could, but I was loving him as a dad. I was loving him as the big brother that wasn't there. I was loving him for the friend or the male role model that I never had. I was not loving him as my partner, as my spouse, as my forever boo. It took years to get to the place of just loving him in only the capacity in which he needed to fill and not all the other holes that was missing.
Ooh, man. Wait a minute, honey.
Preach.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm not taking this no further. I want you. You are, how old are you?
She's 40.
I'll be 42 in May.
Let me tell you, God, marvelous work on you in a short amount of time. Because what you just said, I'm 58 years young, and I'm not just, but I wasn't 42 understanding that. Let me say that. So I want to give credit where credit is due.
60 and still working.
And I have, getting to that place of understanding, because my husband and I have been together since 1978. So obviously I was a baby trying to be committed in a relationship to be a grown woman with no tools. I have two absolute wonderful parents, but they were dysfunctional, and they didn't teach me how. I had a picture of what a marriage and a relationship was, even though they were together. I had a picture, and that picture was sometimes foggy. And so then I got into a relationship with someone that came from a foggy picture. And so then now I want to make this foggy glass, this foggy picture look perfect.
Right.
And so
two foggy individuals
trying to navigate through this thing, honey. So you just
I completely understand. My husband and I be married 20 years in August, and we met each other in our teenage years. And I'm with you. I came into the relationship with tools, but let me tell you, they was dusty, they was rusted, they were busted, and you cannot build new projects with old tools.
You cannot. You literally cannot. And when that transform, when you know that it's time for some change to happen, you go through. I went through. I like to make it personal. I went through some scary moments, some insecure. I was already insecure, when I was walking around like I had it all together. Girl, please stop fooling yourself. And then I went into this fear of how people are going to receive me, and then what's going to happen to my soulmate and I. Well, if he's my soulmate, he's gonna be there. You don't get that down the road. So you don't get that part down the road. But thank you, Lord. All right, your turn with that. Woo, that was deep.
You was a blessed individual that accepted you with all of your flaws.
Yeah,
you know, I'm Mr. Perfect.
You
so
Mr.
I didn't have no flaws.
You know, he liked to believe that. But you know, being Miss Val, she gonna always come back and remind you. She'll let you know, you got some old tools, you know. We need to put some WD on them.
Jesus Christ.
But look, it's a beautiful thing we have on the show. You are a poet as well as very educated young lady. We have Rick over here. I believe Rick is a rapper also. You know how to put some words together that rhyme. So Rick, come on, put them two words together that rhyme.
Yeah.
I went through like speaking coaching classes and stuff like that, trying to understand how to articulate. I think I shared it with y'all a while back. It's like I used to stutter. I didn't understand how to speak properly. I was in reading classes most of my life. So I'm one of the people who have to defy the odds, right? But then I realized is that like there's so many tools available.
Right.
And you have to keep expanding. You know what I'm saying? If I want to learn, that's why I have this thing where I'm like, yo, nowadays there's no excuse for somebody to not know anything.
Right. No excuse.
Because everything is there.
That's it.
I want to be better in this particular thing. Google it, look it up, figure out how to do it. Now it's your mindset that's not allowing you to do that particular thing, right? But I want to answer her question real quick because it's on my mind and I'm gonna lose it if I don't say it right now. I'm not a rapper. Some things just come out naturally. It just comes out like that. Again, I've had to learn how to evolve, right? And with evolution is like we define love by things that we don't have typically. You know what I'm saying? So, like she said, like she mentioned, I didn't have a father figure, so I love my husband or whoever she was with the way I would have liked to love my father.
You've been here.
So that's why it's like understanding self is so important before you get in any relationship. Because if I'm missing love, okay, I'm loving the fact that I wanted that thing in that past relationship and I don't have it right now, right? But it's not real. It's not real.
I'm wanting something that's not real.
It never happened, but you're trying to make it happen through love. So now you have these expectations that's tied to your obligations. See, I didn't even play that one. It just came out. It just came out, man.
You put the words together.
I'm not a poet at all.
It's natural, man.
It just came out, right. Our expectations end up getting tied to our obligations because I'm expecting you to do these things because we're married, because we're in a relationship, because you're my friend, brother, sister, cousin, whatever. So, but being real with yourself, being able to say, I love you. Then I started asking people like, what is it that you love? Okay. And how is that you're loving?
Right.
Okay. And what is the love based on? See, I just love you. Like just love
Just love it. That's
I always say like you put just if you put just before anything, it's an average expectation.
There you go.
That's almost like I apologize if I.
Like you're not really apologizing.
Or if I apologize. Okay, but what are you apologizing for? Because if you can't elaborate, then you can keep it.
Right. And that goes back to communication.
Yes.
Being able to communicate your emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? If you're not emotional, you have these horrible expectations, then now you're gonna clash in it somehow, some way, because nobody can communicate properly. It's like, look, say it intentionally. What are you trying to say? And if you don't know how to say it, be quiet until you understand how to say it.
That's a beautiful thing when you know what your issues are in life and recognize those things. A lot of people out here today they can't recognize it.
They don't want to recognize it.
I was getting ready to say, yes, you do. I'm not giving passes. They know it. Yeah. You know, just like for years I sat in that room knowing that room brought me pain and made me uncomfortable for years. Sitting and having a conversation with a person or just being around that person, I knew that person brought me pain. I knew. Now, did I choose to do anything about it? No, I didn't have the tools to do anything about it. Okay. So people know, they know it's at that time. Do they have the tools, or do they have the willingness?
There you go.
To even recognize it
and to deal with it. It's the real. So I'm not a licensed therapist. I mean, I got y'all. I'm not a coach. I'm just speaking on my own. experience. If anybody
I'm
disagrees.
usually a licensed therapist.
No, you speaking the truth.
Yes, the truth.
Did you hear what wait a minute, did you hear what he said?
I'm usually the
I heard what he
licensed
said.
therapist
I'm
on the
usually.
I'm usually.
Yeah, but I have two perfectly good people on the show that can articulate all the things that I wish I could articulate.
Wait. But when someone says they have a license,
Yeah,
That's what he said.
He did
that's
say
what he
his
said.
license.
He said it twice.
He said it twice. That's
He
why I'm not
did.
gonna get. When someone says they have a license, that means you have.
I didn't mean I'm
Credentials.
licensed.
You have some credentials.
Huh?
You have some credentials.
No, I'm the unlicensed
Okay.
therapist.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I just thought I'd get that together for the people in the back of the room.
No, I'm the unlicensed therapist on the show.
Okay, there you go, baby. There you
Thank
go.
you, baby.
All right, good.
I said licensed.
You sure did.
All right.
You was confident with it.
You-
though.
Yeah. I said it like I had. Like I had.
I didn't even know that.
Right.
Oh Lord.
You said it with your chest. You said it
I'm
from your
telling you.
chest.
See, you had your chest
Look.
stuck out.
I'm gonna show you something. You see this book right here?
Okay. Look at it.
Yeah.
This book gave me the credentials
Ooh.
right here.
That's it.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Let's get to that.
You did.
I'm ready to get into that. Okay, see, he gonna bring that out there, and I am going to say that book teaches us. You know, it teaches us because I think a lot of times what people that have not really worked on those things that they know they got those shortcomings with, but they know these words or these scriptures, they like to go back and hold you accountable.
No, the thing is, there are a lot of people know these scriptures, but they don't know these scriptures. They don't have it planted in their hearts and their minds.
That's what I was getting ready
And
to
so they can easily come to and just read some words off of it. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of Christians, you know. But I'm not one of those.
Well,
people.
no, I'm not saying
one of the people that looked at the word, absorbed the word, and put it in and planted it into my heart.
I'm still going to say
Go ahead.
what I was going to say. Okay.
You never not gonna be shut up. You're not gonna shut up.
I agree 100%. And that word, one thing about you truly love the word, and that word is all in you. However, there are some people that take that word and they use that word as a way to put you on a different standard and browbeat you.
Just to build themselves up and make you look like you're not up to par.
What can I speak?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. And then they like to take scripture. They like to take scripture and break you down to show you a being less.
That's what I just said.
Articulating the whole
But she wanted to say it. She wanted to finish her thought.
You understand. You know what, Brother Carter? I absolutely love you, but you know me. We could go all day with this.
Did I tell you?
I love that conversation.
Did I tell you how beautiful you are?
Now, look, he trying to dig out of it. Come on, baby.
There you go.
I got
that
to tell
pivot
the world.
game is strong over there.
That's years of experience.
He know how to get this
That's
track.
a good
To get
co-host.
this, you see that co-host is on his stage.
I don't know what thing, but you know.
Hey, Miss Chris.
That girl got that hair going this morning.
Yeah.
He
Flawless.
You know,
I don't want to be right now.
I already told y'all, if you on any other social network,
get
get
on.
off of it and get on YouTube Live. Huh? Tell them, Crystal.
Live, YouTube, subscribe to the Little Victory Show channel.
I love it.
Yes.
Look, that's
So
his
you
co-host.
can see some of this beauty
Okay,
and
baby.
not just hear
Okay,
it.
baby, can we
It's not
get
funny.
this show before we go? We get back on track. Miss Crystal, you have a question for us. Let me go. I'm gonna come. Look at Justin. Look at Justin cutting you up. Justin said,
Digging a hole and
What you say?
he said, what Justin said?
Brother Carter digging a hole and jumping in.
Hey, you stepped in, John, right back out though.
Okay. Chris and Justin, we love
Justin,
you.
we always appreciate you commenting and
Because you
doing
know,
the show.
you know your brother is gonna mess it up. He gonna do something. Crystal, what do you have? What is your question you want to ask, or you want me to just give? I'm gonna give Stephen. Stephen is one of our employees here he's not here this morning, but I know he's listening, and he wanted me to ask this question of you guys. Have you ever been judged for choosing to enjoy something for yourself?
Oh, God.
Oh,
I don't want them to go too deep.
Yeah, I want. Okay. Okay.
I'm just gonna say this all the time, every day.
Yeah.
All the time, every day. Well, I think.
And what?
I think we're gonna come back. On that. So we're gonna take that's something.
I want to know an example of what this judgmentalness is.
What I want to do is, Chris, find the shortest commercial, the shortest song, pay a bill, raise the praise, play the disclaimer.
Pay a bill, play a song.
No, we're not playing no song.
Okay,
we're gonna do it in this order. We're gonna pay a bill. We're gonna raise the praise.
All right.
And then we're gonna do a disclaimer. And after y'all hear this disclaimer, we coming back because ain't no telling what.
Coming back hot, baby.
We coming back hot. We got a very, very short break.
All right.
We'll be right back. All right, we back. Oh my God. I said a short one, right?
I said, all right.
Y'all already know it is turned up in here. Okay, we coming on back. Mr. Justin, I'm not moving any further till I tell Brother Justin, good morning, and I love you. And I can't wait until the first of the month to have that candid conversation. You got to throw a life raft to your brother again.
That's all right. He got my back.
He got your back. He got your back. Well, we back at it, and we're getting ready to go. And back to that question again.
LaShasta, wait a minute, LaShasta.
She back?
How you gonna get
I'm back
on my show with all that chewing and carrying on?
It's breakfast time, huh?
Let me tell you this, brother. I'm over here.
Brother.
Come on.
Yeah. I didn't hit you with bro or brother. I'm over here growing a whole human, so I had to grab a little snack.
Okay. All right, understood. You made it.
I did. We got a quick little granola bar. When you need it, you need it.
That you did.
You got to do what you got to do. It is an early morning show. I wish I had something to chew on over here. I'm a little hungry. Kyrie over there in the corner with her gushes over here. She ain't slid none out. She ain't trying to help us out. Anyway, I'm going back to Stephen's question. And anybody can jump on this, but I do want us to elaborate. Have you ever been judged for choosing to enjoy something for yourself?
Well, I'm gonna just jump in.
Go.
The funny thing about that is it's easy to be judged by people who don't like you.
Oh.
Okay, that's the easiest way to be judged, right? And if you're constantly hanging around people who don't like you, then it's your fault that you're being judged. Okay. Now, when you're comfortable, we always talk about this, comfortable being who you are, being the person that you are, the people that you surround yourself with, they can't judge you because they're trying to learn from you. You know what I mean? So, like they say, you are the top 5, you are the average of the top 5 people that you hang around, right? You're the average of the top 5 people that you hang around.
Wow.
All right. So if you hang around with a bunch of losers, 9 times out of 10, you're the 5th loser. You see what I'm saying? And so if you hang around a bunch of entrepreneurs that are thriving, who are trying to be better, then you are an entrepreneur who's thriving and trying to be better, right? And it's hard to judge you. I'm trying to learn. So I'm listening. That's why I can sit back and just listen to what y'all are saying, because I'm trying to learn and absorb, right? If I'm in a place judging me,
right,
then it's like, even there.
Why am I there?
You know what I'm saying? And then instead of, I always ask people, like, again, I have to go right to the source. I've learned to work from the inside out instead of the outside in, right? Because if you're working outside in, I'm judging you based on how you look, you know what I'm saying, the people that you hang around. So I'm like, if you get mad at me, I have to ask you directly, why are you mad at me? What's the real reason that you're mad at me? And let's discover that reason, because that's going to allow our relationship to grow a whole lot better. We can build a relationship based on why you feel like you don't like me, because it's a deeper reason than just I don't like what you're doing. Because now you're judging my outside. You have no idea what I've been through.
You don't know who I am. You don't know my journry at all.
You have no idea. So you just judge me based on how I look. You know, brother, you look good. You look like you got it together. That's why I can't stand when black people like, I see you. You look like you got. I'm like, man, look,
you don't even know.
You have no idea
I
what's
have
going
people
on right
that
now.
tell me, what they say, if I had your hands, I'd cut mine off.
You know what? Bro, hey, and I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I've started to help my brothers to change the way they are wording things and saying things, and be super intentional with the things that we're saying, because you don't understand why you saying these things. But like, I see you. If I, like you said, if I had your hands, it's like, why don't you feel like you can do what I'm doing?
Right.
What's the problem? What's the real reason?
Well, I'm gonna let Miss LaShasta say something on that, and then I'm gonna tell you my point of view on what you're talking about.
Okay, wow. Okay,
and so I'm gonna take it from the other perspective that we are judged by the people we know and we love. Sometimes it's because they want us to be who we used to be, and not seeing us for who we are right now today. Like literally, you know, my brother asked for an example, so I had somebody hit my DMs to ask to borrow money, and his real life, it was a family member, and I said that I didn't have any money to let them borrow at that time.
Hold up, they slid up into your DMs and asked you for some money.
He has something to say about DMs. That's a whole nother show.
A whole nother show. Yeah. So then I was like, I don't have any to let you borrow at this time. Next thing you know, this person hit me with a comment on my story because I was on vacation. So on my story, I was on the beach, and it was like, oh, really? So I'm like, first of all, you're not gonna watch my pockets because they're my pockets. So let me explain to you that I have an allocated budget line for how much I let people borrow. So until some of that borrowed money come back in, I don't have any money for you to borrow. I didn't say I didn't have any money.
There you go.
Wait. I don't mean to cut you off. Can you repeat that? Because I need to learn that same phrase. Say it real.
Okay.
Say it.
So I have a budget with a line item of how much money I allocate for borrowing, because my uncle taught me years ago, never let anybody borrow more money than you're willing to let them have. So let's just say that number is $250. If it's March and $250 is already out, and somebody hit my DMs with, do you have some money for me to borrow? The answer is no, until somebody else pay me back. So that same $250 get recycled out.
I love that.
So that's what I explained to this person. I said, when someone else pay me back, which they say they're gonna pay me on the 1st, whatever, then I can let you borrow X amount of money. So if that person don't pay me back, then I don't have nothing for you while I'm on this beach drinking this cold beverage.
And you know, people have a way of counting your money.
Look, a whole system. Right. So they was judging my pockets. Like, you know, you want to judge how often I vacation, or even I can even make it more simple. People judge and say, oh, you so busy. You don't have time for this and you don't have time for me. No. I make time absolutely for the things and people that I love. And I'm not busy. I'm productive. I'm about my father's business. I'm not busy.
We got to repost this show.
Oh my God. This one here is wow. This here, let me tell you. I'm busy. You know, I am an intentional baby, and he knows he's pointing over here at me. He knows how I feel about that. You just elaborated on it. I am a very busy woman, but I make time for what's important to me. I'm going to block out some time to go hang out with you or go have lunch. Trust me, I'm not going to block out some time to sit up and talk about a whole bunch of problems. Not doing it.
That's it.
I'm not doing it.
Right.
I work hard. Yeah. And when I want to take brunch or when I want to go, if I'm not with my baby, it's not going to be about problems, period.
And so here's my take on the subject at hand. I found in my 6 decades of living, there's 2 different kinds of people. There are those that are jealous, and there are those that are envy. Those that are jealous, they jealous because they want to be like you.
There you go.
Those that envy you, you got to watch them. They want everything you've got. Those are the ones you have. So there are no judgmental people, because they're only judgmental only if I accept their judgment. So they're no longer judgmental people to me. They're only jealous or envious people.
So,
amen.
Well, you said that, but I need you to elaborate a little more, because for the people in the back of the room.
Okay.
So if they are envious, there's a reason. Let's talk about the envious person.
I can't talk about why people envy me. I can't talk about that. Only they
that part.
You know, they can only express that.
But why is that person more dangerous than the jealous person?
That person there can cause some harm to you. That person there, the envious person, like I say, they want everything you have. They'll do anything.
They want your joy. They want
out of that place where they so envy of you.
I'm gonna add to that just a little bit.
Go ahead.
I think one thing that we all should just be okay with saying and understanding is that our enemies are actually our lessons. Okay, because at least you know what your enemy intent is. I know what you're trying. I know for a fact you don't like me, so it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But the people that are closest to it, I don't really know what your true intentions are, and it could be based on love, obligations, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? But my enemy, I respect him more. Believe it or not, I respect my enemies more than I respect people who are super, super close to me, right? Because unless you have a real relationship where you can tell me, hey, I love this about you. Like, cause I love the fact that you're doing all this and you're trying to help us grow. That's genuine love. You know, it's not just, oh, we family. No, it's like, no, look at what we're doing. Like, you're really helping people grow. So I can say I intentionally love you that way. But somebody who I know outside doesn't like me for a particular reason. You don't like me because what? Oh, because I'm bald headed and got a beard. Okay. At least I know why you don't like
you.
Can
Appreciate, you can appreciate Donald Trump better than you can appreciate a Klansman with a sheet on.
Yeah, because they hiding.
Right.
I'm not behind the sheet, bro. Come out, man.
That's deep. That's deep.
Mr. Justin has a question.
Okay, Mr. Justin has a question. What is his question?
Why do we give so much value to the opinions of people who are trying to tear us down?
Wow. Okay, then, since Mr. Justin asked that question,
he can't answer.
But let's see if let's one of you guys answer that question for him.
My first thought is I gotta go back to the whole judgment thing, right? Think about a judge just in general. Right? He's an appointed official, okay, and you have to set an appointment to go be judged by this particular person in the whole jury, right?
All right, break it down.
You know what I'm saying? You haven't been unless you have been convicted of something, you're not going to go see the judge, right? So if you are allowing somebody to convict you and then put in a place to where they can judge you.
Woo.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when I'm not going to allow you to convict me.
Yes.
You're not going to convict me.
So you're giving someone the power that really don't even have the power.
You don't have the power.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I've intentionally allowed certain people to. I always say this. Look, I loved you enough to be present, but I don't love you enough to let you hurt me.
Wow.
That's why I say you can't judge me. You can only be jealous of me. If you mad at me, you just jealous of me.
Come on, LaShasta.
And can I add to that?
You can.
From a psychological perspective, a mental health perspective, we have what's called the Maslow hierarchy of needs, which basically establishes what we need in life to be human, to thrive. And one of those is a sense of belonging. Like, man was not created to be an island, so we all want to belong. So when people like, oh, I don't care what they say, I'm gonna call BS, because you do. Now you may not give value to it, you may not ponder on it long, but there is some care extended because the innate human has a sense of belonging. And so that's part of the reason why we give value to what anybody says about us, period. But also the way our brain is wired to fixate on the negative more than the positive. So we have to choose to rewire our brain. And you can blame it on Eve, you can blame it on Adam. It don't matter who you blame it on, because I tell people we got two things. You can focus on the why it is or what you're gonna do about it. So if you know that you are a person that fixates on the negativity that somebody else brings to you, you have to start to decide to say, like, how am I going to rewire my brain to process what they have to say differently? Like when people see me initially, they my hair, I have curly hair, light skin, curly hair. Oh, she bougie. She this and this. I've had plenty of people that love me dearly now say, when I first met you, I thought you was mean. I thought you was bougie. I thought you was this. And that was their choice to judge me based on what they thought they saw.
Right.
And I didn't give any value to it today. Now, the 20-year-old me might have stayed up all night and might even drop some tears. But me right now today, I'm sorry, there ain't too many things that people can tell me about me that I don't already know, that either I'm a cosign or I'm a deny.
Right. I want to add to it. I got to keep adding to you.
Keep adding.
You know, one thing about like feelings, when people say it doesn't bother me, you know what I'm saying? Again, I like her, I got to call BS.
Yes.
Because here's the real truth is, you don't understand a feeling unless you feel.
Oh, there you go. And that right there,
Yeah.
because people like to say, oh, that doesn't bother me because I really don't care. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
It hurts you.
It hurts you.
You just have to understand why.
But the thing is, you can't carry that kind of hurt along the way, though.
But you carrying it because you're not dealing with it. It's still there. It's just manifesting itself in different ways. It's there.
Right.
And
so you talk about what somebody else feel about you. You have to carry that with you.
What I'm saying is their feelings sometimes it's not just a feeling. It's not just a thing on the inside. Sometimes their feelings is in their actions on how they treat you.
Right.
Sometimes their feelings is in how they respond to you about different things, to you or to someone else. So yes, that affects you. So if we want to talk about, I'll say my brother.
Okay.
If my brother, if I'm reaching out to my brother, and every time I reach out to my brother, he never answers the call. And I'm sitting here saying, I love my brother, but it don't bother me that he never answers my call.
Well, you know, I got but I can't say it on this radio station.
Well, for me, it still bothers me because that's my brother, and I'm choosing to say it doesn't, and I'm moving on. Well, I'm not moving on because it's still there in me, undealt with.
So, you know, that's the thing right there, is like understanding the feeling.
Yes.
Right. And trying to facilitate the feeling in order to know how to move forward. You know what I'm saying? Most time we don't do that. We just, I have this feeling, and then we do nothing with it. So guess what? It's sitting there. It's going to manifest, and then it's going to show out in different other ways. Now you angry. Now you snapping at people instead of being like.
And sometimes we don't even place it on the person that's causing it in the first place. So what we do is we keep them in that safe place because it really don't bother me. Then we go over here to this person that's over here every day giving me the affirmation, supporting me, and we're taking it out on them because we don't want to go over here and deal with that over there because that's going to open up a whole nother can.
And this is why I like meditation is so
and I want to piggyback on that a little bit, because if we look at it from a neurobiology standpoint, when we're in relationship with people, our nervous systems integrate. So two nervous systems is actually smaller than two integrated together is smaller than one. So a lot of the times where we're experiencing these things are with people that's in relationship with us. So I'll give you an example. Growing up, I was teased tremendously, given all kind of horrendous nicknames, which most of us were in the Black culture. You know, most of us did in the Black culture, you know, soup coolers, you know, now people paying for these lips and God gave them to me.
Come on now. Come on now. Yes, on my big head, or big eyes. Yeah.
Exactly. And so all of those things become integrated in you because you're integrated with that person. Your nervous system is locked in. So yes, brother, we carry it with us, what they say, because it's integrated. And until we're choosing to identify and reconcile what is of us and what is of them and their insecurities, we carry it. So then for me, the big lips, I literally was almost in tears when I was doing probate at Prairie View for Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, because we had to wear red lipstick. And I did not want to make my soup coolers look any bigger than what they were. Now a sister put on some red lips just to walk around the house.
Come on now. Come on now. Yes. Yes. Woo. Let me tell you something. I'm just sitting here speak, Brother Carter. You got anything to say on this?
I love the red lips.
There you go. Woo, enough said. Well, I'm gonna take this a little deeper, and I'm going right back to Diana with her question.
Diana
has a question. Come on, Diana.
Okay, my question is, what are the areas we should be focusing on to know we are fully taking care of ourselves?
Repeat that, please, because it kind of came off. Repeat that again.
What are the areas we should be focusing on to know we are fully taking care of ourselves?
Come on now.
You want me to go there?
The areas.
Go there first, and then we're gonna
Yeah,
because you're gonna clean it up. You're gonna sweep the room out when she comes.
I need LaShasta to go and give us this clinical definition of everything. I love it. So as a trainer, as a coach, as a nutritionist, as a massage therapist, and that's why I got deep into understanding the mind and the body, everything works together. So before we had this modern technology and respect for pharmacists and medicine, there was just herbs, there was just mind and body. This is how traditional Chinese medicine is how we were able to understand how we connect all together, right? How you think, how you feel, how you act. We talk about the nervous system, we talk about the body. There was no go to the doctor, take this pill. So I have nothing. I tell people nowadays, like, look, it's great. Go to the doctor, get the diagnosis, figure out what's going on with your body. But then the treatment is completely up to you. Right? So how do you fix yourself? Okay? Take care of yourself. I'm gonna go your way for a second.
Talk
right?
to me.
The Bible literally says, seek you first the kingdom of God. And it's righteousness. It says seek first. So take care of you first. This is the kingdom of God. This body is allowing you to understand your mind, right? And if your body isn't correct, meaning you feeding it properly, you exercising properly, you're not stressing as much, you meditation, understanding yourself, now you could take on everything else, right? So seek you first, this kingdom.
But if it ain't happening mentally, it never
manifests
itself
let's
in
go
the
back
body.
again. So let's go back to like our ancestors, right? Before we had modern houses and everything else, we were outside in nature, connecting with God, connecting with the earth, the trees, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Like we were.
I am so sorry. Yeah.
Yes, that too.
That's all we had.
That too.
That's all we had.
But that's true though. Honestly, he's speaking truth. Like studying traditional Chinese medicine, like we go through a whole aromatherapy of understanding herbs and oils before medicine became popular, right? But this is how we connected. Everything was connected to earth, connected to self, right? So if you don't understand, your body cannot take on this extra stress of the mind and of the world, then no matter what happens to you, you're going to be stressed out because your body can't take it. So feed yourself properly, meditate properly, understand yourself, strengthen up your body enough to take on the stresses of the world. So I tell people all the time, it's not just working out, right? I'm strong, I can run, all that good stuff, but my body is strong enough to take on all of the stressors of the world. So it's a mind, body, soul connection. Now, once you prepare this thing, now you can go talk to LaShasta and get your everything else straight.
So you got to work on this.
So you have the energy.
You know what I'm
saying? You cannot work on this thing unless you train this thing to make it.
And then we wonder why you're tired. It's like, well, you have a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Toxic stuff. And then you're trying to fix yourself. It's like, well, your body functions. It's too tired.
Ooh, Lord. Okay, come on. Sweep around this door over here. Come on, sweep this room up.
So, Rickey, you didn't lay the foundation.
I told you, that's why I like her. I was like, yo, we got a tag team, man. I'm gonna throw you the alley right quick. Go
That's it. And I'm gonna come through with the
you gotta slam it now. Come on.
It. So I agree with everything that Rickey said. As a professional sleep strategist and a certified sleep science coach,
we need
what has to happen first. What has to happen first is that you have to sleep. You have to rest. You have to cultivate your peace. And in my coaching program, Sleep Your Way to Wealth, that's exactly what I'm working to teach people, how to set boundaries, how to improve their sleep hygiene, because none of what Rickey said will be beneficial, will work to its full capacity if you are not getting rest, if you aren't going to sleep. And so you have to prioritize your sleep. And what I've come to learn and understand in my research is that for a third of Americans don't get adequate sleep. We're talking about over about 109 million. If I take it a step further and look at our culture, Black and brown people, that goes up to like 66%.
Absolutely.
Like literally 13, those people who are sleeping like less than 6 hours on average, which is a lot of Americans, they increase their mortality rate by 13%. So I'm gonna run that back for the people in the back.
Okay, come on now. Come on.
If you are sleeping less than 6 hours on average, you just increase your mortality rate by 13%. In Americans, our average life expectancy is 77 years old. You just knocked that down to 67. Goodbye retirement. Goodbye golf trips. Goodbye. Look, I'm sorry, because this is my my jam. I need our people to sleep. So the way you know that you're taking care of yourself is when you prioritize your sleep. And literally what we've been talking about this whole time is cultivating your peace. And in order to cultivate your peace, you got to set boundaries. You have to be willing to prioritize and be productive and not just busy. You have to keep your circle tight. All of that stuff goes in line. But what's at the very top is go to bed. So your body and your brain can be energized to do everything else that we talked about today.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Bell.
Okay.
Dr. Bell now.
Okay, now I'm you stepped on my toes.
Yep. I can feel it.
You stepped on my toes.
Yeah.
My foot did not go down, and you're saying exactly what I know I need. I struggle with sleeping. Full transparency. I may sleep, and it's just something that is just going. I don't know. Maybe I need to come. Talk.
Well, we need to talk, Sister Bell.
I sleep. My pattern is like maybe 2 hours, and then I'm up. It's ready to go. 2 hours. Go back to sleep. Yeah. I'm up. And it's literally like that all night, and it's been like that far too long.
So Dr. Bell.
I saw your discomfort when I was talking. Your body.
Did you see?
She got extra uncomfortable.
Did you see?
You was like old girl on 5 heartbeats on the front row.
She's squirming and everything.
I was like, she's been on my side the whole time. But no, I appreciate that, because that's one thing I know that I struggle with, and I have to get. If there's anything in my life that need to get in line, is my sleep.
Right.
So
can I say something real quick? And I don't want LaShasta, please tag me on this as well too. Understand, I know she go deeper with this, but I like to do things at bay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's plain and simple for us to understand, right? And I love it because she's like, yo, let's break it down. Yeah. But circadian rhythm, understanding how your body functions when it's time for you to go to sleep. What you're eating, your insulin. Like I said, I've been really going deeper in traditional Chinese medicine, understanding how
say that word again.
Circadian rhythm.
Circadian.
Yeah. So I'll break it down real quick.
Yeah, see, I told you.
Look, Rickey, we're gonna have to get in the lab together.
I'm telling you, I'm down. I'm ready.
For real, y'all are so in sync. Yeah.
It's your body knowing the difference between day and night. So when you have a newborn baby, how we say we need to get that baby on nights and days, that's literally what it means. And so understanding that when we do certain things, it helps our body to know that it's time to be awake. And when we do certain things, it helps our body to know it's time to go to sleep. So like daylight savings time just happened. And if you're not intentional, which I did a 3 days of tips, 3-day live to help people be intentional, then your circadian rhythm is slightly thrown off because night and day it adjusts by an hour. So if you're not intentional, that's why a lot of people really on average lose about 40 minutes of sleep during daylight savings time or that Monday after because of the night and the day. So that's what Rickey means when he says circadian rhythm. It's just knowing the difference between daytime and nighttime.
Yeah, and then also understanding like what time should you be eating? Because your body is trying to metabolize certain food at a certain time, right? So let's say if you eat, 6, 7 o'clock at night and you eat something that's high in insulin or carbs or whatever, your insulin has to break that down, and especially if you're insulin resistant, right? If you're insulin, your liver and your brain is like, we're supposed to be doing with this energy. So when you think you're sleeping, you're not sleeping. You know what I'm saying? And your brain is like, okay, once it starts going and your body's trying to metabolize that, it's like, yo, we got to do something with this. So guess what? You wake up.
Wow. And see, I'm thinking it's all mental myself. So it got a lot
it's
of
a lifestyle, man. I'm a lifestyle coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like your lifestyle tells you.
But you're right, brother. It is all mental because our mental health, as we define it, is the way we see life, the way we interact with people, the way we go through life. That's your emotional intelligence and mental. So it is all mental because, like Rickey said, you have to make an intentional decision of what you eat and when you eat it. Because our first sleep window hits us about 10, between 9 and 10. If I poll the room and ask you, like, when you start to feel sleepy, if you have awareness of your body, it's between 9 and 10. Most of us will push past that. And then the next window is not until about 1 a.m.
Right.
So your body, like, God is so amazing. He created us so beautifully that if we would just sit with who he created us to be, most of our problems would not exist. I mean, sleep deprivation is tied to 7 of the 15 leading causes of death, y'all.
Come on,
say it again,
going to bed.
You cannot go fast over
slow.
that.
Say it slow.
For the back of the room. Come on now, come on.
Take it slow for the back of the room. Of the 15 leading causes of death, sleep deprivation is tied to 7. So when we talk about choosing ourselves and being in control, y'all, we can decide when we go to bed. We can decide how we go to bed. We can decide how long we are in the bed, but we choose not to, and we're literally killing ourselves.
So what would you tell someone that I'm sure you was at this point at some point of your life where you couldn't just turn the whirly bird off, so to speak? You just kept on going and kept on going. What did you do? I'm asking for some free advice right here.
You charge for this service.
For sure. And so you're right. You're absolutely right. It was, and like I mentioned earlier, I was plagued with headaches in my 20s. It would take hours to fall asleep. I was 8, 9 years old, amazed at how quickly an adult fell asleep because that was not my story. Because I was too busy contending with who said what, how, when, where, who thought what. So what I decided,
what I got to do tomorrow and all this stuff
is exactly just that anticipatory anxiety is what we call it, anticipating the next thing. And what I did first is started to be present, like really sitting in the moment right now today. So when worries start to come up, I ask myself right now today, like, so for instance, when we were young, first graduating college, kids trying to pay bills, the me back then would worry. The me right now today would tell myself, okay, right now today, are the bills paid? Yes. Right now today, is there food on the table? Yes. Right now today, what else is it? And then the worry that I have, I decide, like, how can I make it work favorably for me? And I'm literally getting ready to launch a do-it-yourself course called Working the Worry. And it's 4 steps that are clinically proven.
Okay, y'all.
Go ahead.
I'm just to come there. Since I am the subject of sleep, I know, but I need to talk about me. I'm the one with that 2 hour. I appreciate that. Here's what goes on in my head. And it's not even literally, it's not I'm really worrying about something. My sleep, and this may be some stuff that I need help with. I do need help with. My sleep, really, I lay down and I do everything and I go to sleep. Like clockwork. I have to get up. I mean, I wake up. I don't get up. I wake up. Then I'm like, okay, well, I'm up. Let me go get me something to drink. Let me go use the restroom. And I try to go back to sleep. Then that's a whole process of going back. So now I got the TV on because I can't stand to sleep in just that silence.
Okay, so you've trained your brain. Like you said, like clockwork. Clockwork means that you've trained your brain. Our brain is so very beautiful that we literally can do that. So here's a couple things I'm going to suggest. When you wake up, do not get up out the bed. Sit with your breath. Just focus in. Take some nice deep breaths. Focus on, like, the breath in your body. Give praise to God, but do not get out of bed. Do not go to the restroom. Don't go get any water, and do that for a couple days. Or no, at least about a week, consistently, every single day, even on Saturday and Sunday. We tend to get away from our sleep routine on the weekend because for whatever reason, we feel like we need to be up late and we need to sleep in, but we really don't. We need to keep the same wake and bedtime are within an hour.
Okay.
Do not turn the TV on. When you turn the TV on, that light sends a message to your brain saying that it's time to be awake.
Sister Bell, you're gonna have to stop walking on my wife's feet like this.
I mean,
now.
I did like it. Can you take that? She knew she was coming to walk with me.
I gotta take my
had my
jacket off.
gear on for you.
Look, I gotta take it off now, huh? Like,
oh yeah, honey, you was in the closet. Oh, that's okay. You was right there with me, but you know what? You are truly speaking to me. And I need what you're giving me because I know you're not just giving it to me. I know someone else out there is in need of this too. So keep your jacket on, baby. Just war with me.
But exactly, if you need the sound, because a lot of people will say, I need the TV to fall asleep. It's not the TV per se, but it may be the sound that's on the TV. So I suggest like an audio book, or you can even turn YouTube on and put the screen, put it on your phone and put it face down. And whatever you're listening to needs to have the consistency of the same tone. Not like, don't turn on an action movie. Because literally in your brain is going to be doing this in your sleep. And it's going to wake you up.
Talk, Dr. Bell, talk. Because my thing is, I need the sound of a fan. You know, since I was a
white noise.
We always had to have a fan in the window.
That's because y'all didn't have AC, huh?
We didn't have AC.
Because you've been on me. You've been letting these people
talk.
That's
all right.
At least you get good sleep.
We had a fan in the window, and that fan would put me to sleep. And still today,
yes,
I need that fan on to go to sleep.
And he sleep.
Yeah, but you know what? God, I just love this show. I promise you.
It's something how we train our minds.
Wow,
that's why you're talking about reprogramming. It's like once you understand your habits, you can reprogram all of your habits based on the current things that you're doing, right? So, hey, if you're not getting a proper sleep, what can you do? Do the exact opposite thing of that. It's not as complicated. I love what you break it down, but like I said, I'm very simple. It's like, look, just if you go to bed at a certain time and you eat 2 hours before you go to bed, how do you fix that? Don't eat 2 hours before you go to bed.
Don't eat 2 hours before you go to bed.
And then, like you said, if you have to get up, if you have to have something planned, I listen to a lot of frequencies as a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Like really understanding like megahertz and how it stimulates the nervous system and so on and so forth. So I do a lot of white noise, but then YouTube has a ton of videos where you can just literally turn it on and then the screen is black. Right? You have to hear something. Okay, listen to, I like to hear a pulsing. Binaural beats. Like binaural beats is something that, like, I think our body, you can quote me if I'm wrong, I think our body vibrates at around 757 megahertz, like something like that. But when you get to a certain vibration, you know what I'm saying? Like certain vibrations allow your body to calm down.
The back of the room you just lost.
But it's something about sounds and vibrations, right? That's why, like they say, C sharp is the key that our body actually vibrates to, right? Okay. So when you hear a song in C, your brain automatically identifies to it. So your mind is like, "Ooh, I like that song." Why? Because in C, certain sounds over and over and over, right? So there's a thing like binaural beats that start off at a super high frequency, 757, which is actually normal for most people. But then you can actually have it to where it starts slowly but surely going, and then your entire vibration just slows all the way down to like 420. Funny. But
yeah, wow. That's deep. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I don't know if this show was for someone else. I definitely think this show was for me. And I'm planning on sleeping tonight. I am going to.
And there's a few apps. One that I use is Sleep Cycle, and you can use the free version where it will track your sleep, and then it help you to understand your sleep patterns and your sweet spots. And it has some of the sounds that Rickey is mentioning and different audio things that you can encompass. Like I can literally pull up data for 4 years to tell you what environment I sleep best in, what temperature, if it's raining outside, and this is all for me. Like, I was doing this to keep my peace, rest, and sleep before I was even ready to teach others how to do it. So it's one of those things that I'm not just, because I got a degree or a certification. I actually have a lifestyle built around cultivating my sleep from the moment that I wake up. And that's everything we talked about before is how we cultivate our sleep from the moment we wake up. But then we just have to get real intentional around that bedtime space. And Rickey's right. Like he has his approach, and I go more into detail because people know a lot of times what not to do. They just don't exactly know what to do and how to do it. So we're literally living in a society right now that people want like exact detail instruction, because too much free space, they find themselves exactly where they're already at.
And also everybody want everything instantaneously. They want it right now, instead of like Rickey, like your body. Didn't get this overnight.
I talking to man.
Yeah, you took a lot of time to work on that.
Consistency.
Just starting.
And just like LaShasta Bell here, you don't teach people things that you don't absorb yourself and do yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I never
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm a lead by example every single time.
And have your throw all toe up from the floor talking about you a beautician.
That's it.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something. We actually have this has been probably one, and I keep saying it's for the books because the show, God is doing a marvelous thing with the Love and Victory show on Raise the Praise. I'm just so grateful for this show. Justin just said something. When I come back, we're going to kind of talk about some of the comments that we've gotten out here. I'm almost ready to wrap up. I can't stand this part, but I cannot. But I know we have to do this show again.
Yes.
And sis, I'm going to need you in studio. You're going to have to get
I got you. We can coordinate some dates that I'm in the Houston area speaking already.
I need you in studio. And I think I need.
Do you do in-house calls and come to people's homes? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do have a program where I can come in and assess and assess your sleep environment and walk you through a sleep routine.
You're the truth, man.
Yes, I can make that. I can make that happen for y'all.
All right.
Okay, then.
I just want to say y'all ain't got no excuses now.
Oh, no, absolutely nothing. I tell you,
Rickey holding y'all feet to the fire.
I'm holding. I'm
going to the fire.
I have access to things.
The host y'all took over. The host has left the room. I tell y'all took over this thing. No, it's good. I want to publicly say and ask that Crystal, I need these two in studio coordinate their date. Because what they are giving and what they're bringing is definitely needed. I definitely have. It is necessary. We can talk about a lot of things out there. We can talk about a lot of everything ties back into you. It ties right back into you. And that's a conversation that we can go on and deeper about. And so I definitely need this to be coordinated sooner than later. All right, got to take a break.
We say, seek first the kingdom of God. This is the kingdom of God. All right.
And that was good.
And what does Shasta say over here?
Shasta said everything. She was everything. She was a bag of chips, some soda water, and everything else.
Some soda water.
She ain't soda water, bro. No, she's not soda water.
She was some soda water.
Yeah. Soda. He went all the way back. Well, Shasta soda though.
Well, LaShasta, you was born when I graduated high school in May 1980.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, Justin is just going at. Are we coming right back? We got to read some of these comments. We're going to take a quick pause for the cause so that they can keep me on Raise the Praise 100. All right. Oh my God. This show right here. This show right here is fire. Wow. Okay, I see you over there. I see you still going, Shasta. I want to tell you guys that before I end this show, we've had some amazing feedback, comments, conversation. I'm going to turn it over real quick to Crystal just here in a second. And then we're going to go around, starting with our guest that is not in studio, telling us what your experience is being on the Love and Victory show with Val, getting up early, and then also leaving the guests with something about you and how can they find you. And hopefully, I always say this, the last voice you will hear will be mine. Okay, we'll see.
Today we're gonna hold that truth to be self-evident.
I'm gonna try my work on it. Now
right.
You don't speak. Now I'm gonna speak for me.
I'm speaking for you.
You're gonna help me out, baby.
Yes,
I'm gonna try real hard because we have another host that comes in right behind us, so we gotta kind of stay on schedule. All right, Miss Crystal, give it to him.
Well, first off, I'm going to shout out a couple of people. Of course, Mr. Justin B. Long, one of our favorite guests on Mel's Point of View. We got Miss Lanita Bennett. We got Miss Sean Marshall Monroe.
All right.
And then we had some Hello Breakthrough.
Okay, Breakthrough.
And it was a great day for a breakthrough.
Hello. And then I got a few texts.
And we got a couple of comments. It started with Justin talking about Brother Carter digging himself into the hole.
I like doing that. I do that every show.
Every show he's in the hole.
I like to start up something.
Okay. And then you got, of course, Miss Lanita chiming in with a few things. One thing she said was allocation of feelings falling to someone else instead of the person we should have addressed it with. That was one of her comments at one point of the show. And even Mr. Justin came back and said he would love to do a year of therapy with LaShasta. She has so much to share. Amazing.
My Lord.
Lanita also said that's a great tag team, as in both of the guests. And Mr. Justin said this was a fantastic show, wonderful guests. Thank you all so much for this great discussion.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen.
And then, of course, my baby boy, who is 37 years young, he texted me and said, Mom, I'm enjoying the show. He got up this morning and he has been tuned in, and I tell you, for a great show. So shout out to you, Lawrence. I'm so proud of you for getting up and getting some of this candid conversation. All right, let's start with Miss LaShasta.
So you guys can find me. My counseling practice is at ICYMI on Instagram. Hold on. First of all, I'm giving you Instagram and the website at the same time. So Instagram, Facebook is at ICYMI Counseling. The website is .com. On the speaking, coaching, professional sleep strategist, it is I am L Bell on all platforms.
Okay. Your experience on the show and what your thought is.
And if you on YouTube Live, type that in to the web.
No, she can't do it. Crystal.
Okay, I just put it in the comments.
Okay,
for
great.
Justin. But this show has been amazing. I'm gonna be honest. Since the pandemic, my wake up time has stretched beyond the 7 o'clock hour. And so at first I was like, "Oh, sis, how we gonna be up for makeup at 6:40?" But when I tell you that there was what you received today was not coffee fueled, it was not bang fueled, it was truly God and integrating my nervous systems with the people there. So even though we're not in the same space, our nervous systems integrated beautifully today, and the energy that they have, I absorbed, and vice versa. And it's been amazing. I'll get up at 7 o'clock for y'all anytime.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Okay, and I guess we'll go with you, Mr. Rickey.
Awesome. Well, I'm pretty simplifying my full name, Rickey Getwood Jr. My system is rpgm.us. I look at like reprogram us. So if you type in reprogram, I'm going to pop up all over the place, So my whole system is to help us reprogram my thought process so we can make the best life possible. And I'm, like I said, I'm all over the place, rpgm.us. And my experience today is just like every time I come back, I'm not gonna lie, it's just another experience. I've learned to look at life as an experience now. So every experience has been elevating, educating, like more life intentional, purpose felt, more than anything else. And I gotta give it to Shasta, man. Like I feel like, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I just feel like this whole alley you thing, because I again, for me, I like to be very blunt and straightforward with the answer, the main answer.
Right.
And she's like, let's break that answer all the way down to the root. And I'm like, dope. I was going to say it like that, but not like that.
Not like
what
that.
I'm saying? And so the energy is like intentional. Like the first time I came here, I was like, yo, the energy is so good, so intentional, so purposeful. And I'm all about that. I don't like doing anything. I want to invest my energy in something that's not purposeful. You know what I'm saying? I'll sit back and just let people do their thing, but this was purposeful. So as always, I'm happy.
God bless you, man. It's a blessing to have you guys on the show. I want to thank you personally, LaShasta, and both you, Rickey, also. You guys have been wonderful. I mean, it's eye-opening what you guys have brought to the table today. Man, I just pray that you guys continue doing what you're doing. Keep on blessing folks the way you're doing. God has been good to you, and you know he's been good to you. You ought to say something. That's what you guys are doing. So I'm going to say God bless you one more time, and that's me.
All right,
I'm
then.
out.
Well, and your host,
you
Val.
get the mic.
I get the mic. I get the mic. I want to thank you too. Thank you. I want to send so much praises your way, LaShasta. My sister from another mother, a younger version of me, just all that. And just being in sync with my energy, with me. I am just honored to sit on this platform with you this morning. And to my bloodline. Oh, Lord, my cousin over here. My cousin over here. I absolutely love you. You know, it speaks volumes when you have the type of support from your own family.
Right.
You know, a lot of times our family is the ones that we're longing to get it from, but they're sitting so far back, they wouldn't give us a hand. A stranger would give us a hand quicker. So I want to say to you, I thank you. I love you. And I know that my uncle, which is your grandfather and your grandmother, is proud. They're smiling from heaven. I thank you. I thank you. And to my bad team. Nobody can tell me nothing. I got a bad team. I'm so grateful for you. I want to start with Kyrie, who keeps this social media popping for me over here. They forced me into that world that I didn't want to get into. But I thank you. To Crystal on this board, you are extraordinary. And you are special, and I do not take you for granted. So thank you for having my back, doing all that you do to make this show what it is.
Amen.
Grabbing the right guests, because you take my energy, you know me, and you know you can't just bring anything on this platform. So I thank you so much for being intentional. And Diana, you just got in here, and you're coming on with the Diana is a full-time student and a full-time employee and a part-time intern, and she is banging too. And to my bad co-host and my hubby and my boo thing that always have my back. We're gonna get out of here before 10.
You ain't got to get out. Talk there.
That always have my back. He is always front and center. I came in with low energy, but I am leaving out very high. And so I thank each and every one of you. And until next time, Crystal, tell them how they can find us. Who are we?
Well, they can find us on Instagram at LV with Val. On Facebook, The Love and Victory Show with Val. On YouTube, we have to subscribe to get this Candid Conversation every Saturday morning from 7 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's The Love and Victory Show with Val. And then, as always, you can go to www.lvwithval, because everything is Love and Victory and everything is Love and Victory with Val.
Okay, and why not? Give them a love, right? Why not?
LaShasta, you mind if we ask how far along are you?
I am in month 4.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well, we're going to take this journey.
Look, y'all got my clients hitting me, telling me, when we doing this? They inboxing me. I'm like, I was going to tell y'all this week. Goodness.
I know. Well, I'm going to tell y'all this here. My daughter just said she loves you, LaShasta. So she loves this show. So thank you guys. And I better get out of here before they cut me off. All right. And we're out of here. Love you. Bye.